Hi everyone, I'm Tanaz from foreverconscious.com and this is your weekly energy forecast for the week of November 28th. Yes, I am back doing the weekly forecast. I do apologize that this is a day late. I am still adjusting to life with a newborn. The monthly forecasts were good, but I do feel like the weekly is just a little bit easier. It means I don't have a long video to edit. I don't need to find time to sit down and do a whole monthly forecast. And I know you guys liked the weekly format too, so they're back. And yeah, I apologize again that this is a day late. Okay, the energy for this week and the big cosmic event for this week is the total solar eclipse, which falls in the sign of Sagittarius. That happens on December 3rd, 4th. That'll depend on your time zone. Okay, so a total solar eclipse is one of the, well, it's the most powerful solar eclipse we can have. And it signifies new beginnings, a new chapter, a new sort of pathway unfolding for us. But what makes this eclipse even more sort of special or even more potent is that it's actually ending an eclipse cycle that we have been working with since the middle of 2020. So eclipses follow cycles. They'll always occur, or typically always occur, in the same two signs of the zodiac for about a year and a half. So since the mid of 2020, we have been working with Gemini, Sagittarius eclipses. And this is the last eclipse in that cycle. It falls in Sagittarius, and this is the last eclipse we will work with in this cycle. So if we think back to the midpoint of 2020, okay, if we think back to that time, think of it like the universe opening up a doorway, but just a crack. And this doorway opening could have brought an opportunity. It could have brought a subtle little feeling, a subtle shift in the way you're thinking about things. It could have brought an event. That doorway was open just a little bit. The universe opened a doorway for us. And that little crack of doorway started to evolve and shift our consciousness. It started to create subtle changes. And as we've moved along this eclipse cycle, that doorway has opened a little bit more and a little bit more, revealing a little bit more, showing us a little bit more, bringing us a little bit more, clearing things for us a little bit more. And now at this eclipse, at this total solar eclipse on December 3rd, 4th, that doorway is fully open. It's fully open. The path is clear. The door has fully opened to this new chapter. And that's kind of what this eclipse signifies. Eclipses are, you can think of them as quantum leaps or jumps that they tend to bring events or subtle shifts that help our soul to evolve. They say that eclipses tend to bring fated events. So if something happens in your life around an eclipse, there's a certain element of fate or destiny to it. And that is to help anything that happens under eclipse is to help our soul evolve, is to help our soul grow. And whatever growth work you have been doing since middle of 2020, you have now arrived. You have now arrived at your destination, and that is what this eclipse signifies. So now that we have arrived, we may experience illumination, the gifts of our rewards, a deeper understanding that leaves us with a sense of content or satisfaction, or just a grace for the journey that we have traveled. That doorway is open and we're able to see things with a greater, clearer clarity. One of the planets that's very active at the time of this eclipse is Neptune. Neptune has been retrograde. It goes direct on December 1st, and it's very active under this eclipse energy. And Neptune is the planet of higher spirituality. It helps us to connect with our intuition. Neptune can create foggy energy sometimes, but that foggy energy is only on a 3D level, on the level of our five senses. On a sixth sense level, on a 5D level, Neptune actually gives us a greater clarity, helps us to see things with, a more intuitive, a higher perspective. And that's what's also being offered to us on this eclipse, being able to look at things from a spiritual point of view, being able to look at things from a higher perspective, being able to look at things from a lens of unconditional love. Neptune also rules over that idea of unconditional love, that connection that we all share with our fellow humans, with the energy of this planet. So under this eclipse, there's illumination, but we really have to listen and trust our intuition. This is a time where this doorway is open and we're getting this clarity and we've arrived at our destination and we might find rewards, but it's also important that we're connected and we tune in and listen to our intuitive hunch, our intuitive feelings about something, especially if we get some message or some communication, or we have to make decisions about something. Our intuition is really going to be our guide. Our intuition is always our guide, but just more so under this eclipse, there's just this element of really needing to trust and needing to look at things from a higher spiritual perspective. We have our human perspective, which is very relevant and important, but then we also have this higher perspective too, that knows that there's really no such thing as good and bad, that things just are, that we are love, that we, return to love once we're done on this earthly journey. It's sort of thinking about things from that perspective as much as possible, rather than getting stuck in the human side of things, which is important. But under this eclipse, we're just being guided to look at things from a more spiritual perspective. So big energies. Whenever we have a solar eclipse or any kind of big, eclipse energies, we can feel a little bit zapped, a little bit depleted. They can kind of drain our energy. So just keep that in mind. Although I will say some people, and especially on a solar eclipse, some people can feel energized, really ready to start new beginnings, really ready to, think of it like a new moon on steroids. It's really a time of fresh starts and new beginnings. You can absolutely use this eclipse to set intentions, to think about what it is that you want to attract, what it is you want to bring into your life, the type of energy you want to embody. A solar eclipse is a very karmic event. Whatever energies you've been putting out into the world tend to come back around an eclipse time. So that's something else to keep in mind. So on this eclipse, spend time meditating. Spend time just aligning and thinking about what you want to attract and being what you want to attract. I will say manifestation work, absolutely, you can do that on an eclipse. It's a very powerful portal for manifestation. However, I do feel like under an eclipse, the universe is kind of the one showing us the way. We're co-creators in this universe, so we absolutely get a say. We're co-creating with the energies of the universe. I just feel under an eclipse, because the events are usually so fated, or things are usually so aligned with our destiny, I kind of feel like it's one of those times where we can kind of sit back and focus on being in our true alignment, rather than trying to think about tangible things that we might want to call in. Being in your alignment means that you're automatically attracting whatever is best for your soul, whatever is best for your soul evolution. And I feel like that's a more powerful place to come from when it comes to manifesting. So think about that. If that doesn't resonate with you, that's fine too. You can definitely, create a vision board, set some, more tangible intentions about what you want to draw in. But I do feel there's a power in just focusing on being aligned, being connected, and then trusting whatever the universe brings your way, even if it's a little difficult, understanding that it's for your soul's growth. And on a human level, that can suck and feel painful sometimes, but on a higher soul level, we know that it's just helping us to grow, that we're just, moving into that next step of our soul's evolution. All right, I hope that was helpful. I will be back next week. I am Tanaz from foreverconscious.com. Don't forget, you can get your ritual, solar eclipse ritual and full forecast at foreverconscious.com. Thank you guys so much.